friends, and welcome to my kitchen on the Oregon coast. Today I am going to be showing you how to do my gluten-free flour blend. Because believe it or not, you kind of have to put a few ingredients together to make this work right. You can't just use brown rice flour and call it good. It won't work. So what I have here is potato starch. I've got brown rice flour and I've got teff flour. And this is a 1-to-1 ratio of starch to wholemeal flour. So I'm going to do 2 cups of potato starch and then 1 cup each of the other flours. And your mileage will vary depending on what types of wholemeal flours you choose. For this, you could also do different types of starch too. Say if you have problems with nightshades and can't do potato, cornstarch will work. Tapioca starch will work. I would avoid arrowroot starch. Arrowroot starch is really weird and gets slimy in a way that the other starches don't. I did not enjoy the things I made when I was trying with arrowroot starch. But yeah, I mean, there are lots of different gluten-free flours you can play around with. I've had really good success with sorghum flour. I've had good success with other types of rice flour. And yeah, I mean, but this particular combination has really been a workhorse for me. I've used it for about 1.5 years now, and I don't plan on switching because I really like the results I get with it. So I hope you have the same success. So I have mixed everything together at this point, and I'm just kind of going through and watching the bottom of the bowl because the starch on the bottom sometimes doesn't want to mix all the way in. So you want to make sure this is really well incorporated before you sift it into your vessel. You could do this a number of ways. You could use a jar. You could use a coffee can. I mean, you could shake it instead of mixing it the way that I'm mixing it. This is just how I like to do it. But yeah, so we'll come back once I have all of this done, and I'm going to show you how to do a couple of things that'll be really good for your holiday table. Stay tuned.
Parmwheels on a gravel road.
All right, and we're back. And so I have my flour ready to go. And I've got a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of sugar. And I'm going to make something called pâte brisée. This, some people will do it in the KitchenAid mixer. Some people will do it with a food processor. I don't like doing it that way because I really feel like anything that you're baking, you want to kind of, well, especially pie dough, you want to feel it and make sure that you're not overhydrating or underhydrating it. And it's very difficult to do when you're using something that moves as quickly as a food processor. I mean, a lot of people do it with success and that's great for them. But personally, I like to just go by feel. And so I like to do it by hand, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're just going to mix everything in really well. And then I've got very cold butter here that I've already chopped up. And we're just going to start working that into the dough with a pastry blender. And this may take a few minutes, but you really, really, really want to work this in. This is, I think by definition, pâte brisée is really just all butter pie crust. But recently I saw this thing with Christopher Kimball, and he was talking about how we've all been making pie crust wrong, and you really should cut it in completely as far as the butter is concerned. And I do like the results of that. I've done it before. So I'm just going to see if I can do this by hand, because in the past I have done it in a food processor, and I've had a lot of trial and error and fails because it's hard to get that right. It's hard to not make a total paste out of it. It's hard to it's really easy to underhydrate it if you're being overcautious. So just doing it like this, you can really see what you're doing. And that's what I appreciate about using a pastry blender. And as you can see, it doesn't really take that long to cut butter into flour. And I'm just gonna keep going. Just keep swimming, you know. But yeah, we're getting close already, really. And I just like to keep moving the bowl as I do this because I feel like you will work all the sections of it together and come up with a nice product in the end. And that's one thing I miss about like the old mixers, like the Sunbeam mixers that had the bowl that rotated. KitchenAid doesn't do that. And I often am disappointed in how KitchenAid mixers actually mix things because you always have to scrape, you know, the bottom of it. There's that little bit of clearance in the bottom that's meant for the balloon whisk that kind of leaves a little bit of a gap in what you're doing. So anytime you are using a KitchenAid mixer, you have to go in with a spatula and you have to make sure that everything is mixed in. And usually you have to spend a little bit of time correcting the mistakes the mixer made. So, you know, it's not my favorite. This though, you can see it's already kind of meshing together really nicely. And it's honestly a pretty good arm workout. Like if you've got arm day in your plans, you can switch back and forth if you want to. Although I'm not as good with my left hand. But yeah, we're getting there. I'm gonna say that this is looking very, very close to what I want. All right, so I'm gonna stop here. I'm just going to assess. And I'm also using my knife to clean my pastry blender. Some pastry blenders do not have sharp teeth to them. Mine does. And I found out the hard way the first time I used it. I went like this with my finger and I had 4 slices on my finger. Don't use your finger. Unless you know that this isn't sharp. Some of them are just like wires, but this one definitely has blades to it. So, All right, so I'm just gonna see where we're at here. This actually looks really good to me. So, and I don't think it's gonna need much water either. So that's another thing with like pâte brisée recipes that you'll find. There's like the one that's online that Martha Stewart put out. She says to use these ratios, but then she adds a half a cup of water. If you add a half a cup of water to this, you're gonna have a mess. It's not gonna come together. It's going to, when you go to roll it out, it's going to disintegrate on you. So I'm only probably gonna use maybe, I'm gonna start with 2 tablespoons and just see how it feels. You're just doing this to work the water into the flour and kind of see what you're up to. Maybe 1 more. But I think really, you don't wanna go much past this. It's already looking really good. It's holding together beautifully. We're done. All I needed was 3 tablespoons of water. So I am going to get this, I'm gonna move some things over here. I'm gonna get this onto my surface and I'm just going to turn it into a disc and then I'm going to wrap it up and put it in my refrigerator for half an hour. And then we will go from there. And my lovely assistant is getting the parchment. Actually, it's not parchment, it's compostable cling wrap. We actually found that. So, hey. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna crack a little bit. It's because it's not, the reason you wanna rest this is because you want it to fully hydrate. And it will do that in the time that it's resting. Ideally, it would be about half an hour to an hour in the refrigerator before you roll it out and work on your next steps. I think we can do this. This is a little bit less sticky than other plastic wrap. And this is really weird plastic wrap. If you have tried this brand, I don't know, what brand is it? It's Compostic. It has some strange stuff going on. It has perforations to it. So there's no blade on the box that it comes in. It is just perforated. So you have to kind of find the perforations for it. And It's good enough. That's good enough. There we go. All right. And so yeah, I'm just going to wrap this up. This will also keep in your refrigerator for up to, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. You can freeze it for probably about 3 months and it'll be fine. But we're looking pretty good here. And it doesn't have to be there. Well, no, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, this is enough that it will seal the moisture in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this in the fridge and we'll be back in a little while. Hi, so we're back. It's actually been a day. And so what I'm doing now is I am going to show you how to make something with this dough that's a little bit less conventional than you might be used to. This is a really great party food. It's kind of like a savory cookie, kind of like a cross between a cookie and a cracker. And so what it's going to entail is hazelnuts. I've got 2 ounces of hazelnuts here, 4 ounces of Parmesan cheese. And then to that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of thyme, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of rosemary that I'm going to blend up with the hazelnuts. And I'm going to do that right now. I can't find my tablespoon. Kids always run off with it. I don't know. It's like one of the weirdest things in the world. Hardest thing to find in my kitchen. So 3 teaspoons will make 1 tablespoon. So 1, 2, 3. All right, we're going to whiz that up first. You see that? That is about what you want. You don't want to go too far with hazelnuts because they will turn into hazelnut butter, and we're not going for hazelnut butter today. So I am going to just go ahead and add this to my bowl with the other things, and we'll worry about the rest in just a minute. I'm going to also whiz up the cheese because it's just easier to do it this way. I could spend time grating it, but I don't feel like it today. This is also a fairly new food processor. I got it at the one store that sells appliances out here, which is good old Fred Meyer. So I make do with what I can get a hold of, and this was it. As far as food processors go, I might upgrade at some point because this is not my favorite food processor I've ever had. So that's looking swell. I mean, it's not fine, but you don't want it to be so fine that it disappears either. You want to be able to taste the cheese and the little bits in it. So we'll just go ahead and do that. One thing I do like about this food processor is that it hooks onto the bottom here, and this thing doesn't come tumbling out when I go to empty it, which that is one design characteristic that I'll get behind. So we've got the filling mixed up, and I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to work on my dough. And the dough has been sitting out for probably about 15 minutes. It's been in the refrigerator for a while, so it's still pretty soft. It's still pretty hard, and that's okay. I'm actually going to use parchment paper today because I don't want to use too much flour in this because that has a tendency to kind of adulterate it and make it a little bit too stiff. All right, so now I'm just kind of bashing this with my rolling pin. Because it's a lot easier to get it flat without heating it up too much. So I kind of go back and forth between rolling and bashing. And if it starts to crack a little bit, you can just kind of press it. Yeah. because this is still a bit stiff, but it's fine. I really love this marble rolling pin. It doesn't get hot. That's really one of the great things about marble is that it stays nice and cool to the touch. Like you can sit on marble and it will not warm up. It's great stuff. I think that was kind of the idea behind like granite and marble countertops. And I mean, I thought, wow, that's a baker's dream. But then they started putting it in stupid places like bathrooms and doctor's office, like counters. Like I noticed it there too. And I was just like, are you going to bake a loaf of bread? What are you doing? You going to bake a pie in your doctor's office? It always puzzled me when I would see it.
That's the place to have like Formica.
Yeah.
Not the kitchen.
Yeah, kitchens. Formica is not my favorite thing in a kitchen. Also just like tiles that have grout in them. I don't like that either because stuff gets in the grout. It's really hard to clean the grout. And then you're just kind of like, yeah. So you know what I think I'm gonna do? Because this is kind of sticking to my rolling pin a little bit. So I'm gonna take another sheet of parchment paper and I'm gonna put that on top because that'll also help keep things tight as I'm rolling it out and I'll have less sticking. It kind of works as a little bit of a moisture seal too. Yeah. You don't have as much cracking. It's just better. Ooh. All right, let's see where we're at here. Yeah, see that? It didn't stick to the parchment. It's really nice. And roll it out a little thinner. I can see it doing a little bit of cracking underneath though, so I'm gonna go in there and just kind of work with it a little bit and fix it as I see it happen so big cracks don't form. And using a little bit of warmth from your hand is actually a good thing here. You don't want to go overboard with it. And if you're trying to do this in a hot climate, I feel ya. It's not easy. You have to work very fast. And sometimes you have to keep sticking stuff in the refrigerator. And yeah, I watched many a pie crust fail when I lived in SoCal, because yeah, it's just not an easy thing to do. All right, almost there. A little bit more. Huh?
You wanted a little.
Little thinner, but not too much, but yeah. We also want to try and make it a little bit more even Stevens. It's not really going to be round in this case. So yeah, at this point, I might take a knife and trim some off. And the beauty of using gluten-free flour is that it doesn't really get overworked the way that glutinous flour does. So that is one credit to not having gluten in your flour, especially when you're making a pie crust. Or, you know, other things. This isn't actually a pie crust, but similar. So I'm going to start off with this. So we've got a nice little square there. And I'm going to take my filling And one thing you don't want to do with this is go all the way to the edge on either side, because you want to be able to stick it together. But on the end, or going to the end right here, is totally fine.
Here's another way to spin it. You could also take your filling ingredients and add them to your dry ingredients, which would include the butter that's cut in, before you add your water. And then you would just have more like a cookie without a roulade.
Okay, and I'm going to spray it with a little bit of water. It's always good to have a spray bottle that has water in it in your kitchen for culinary purposes, because yeah, this is going to, All right, I'm going to get it started with the parchment here. It's a little stiff still. Okay, so we're still rolling it with the parchment. And the parchment is actually helping to keep it from cracking, because you can kind of seal it as you go. But yeah, it is a little stiff, it's a little finicky to work with, but yeah, if you can get it to move, which it's doing, it's moving. There we go. Almost there. All right. So now we've got a lovely little snail roll going. And I am just going to wrap this up into the parchment again, like this. And fold these off. And I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator for about half an hour, and then we'll cut it and bake it. Hi, we're back. So now I am slicing these into probably about 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit more pieces. You want them to be, they're probably not going to spread that much. So you want them to be spaced out enough on the baking sheet that they're not going to run into each other, but they won't spread that much. So these are going to be so good. So yeah, just getting them sliced up here. This one is a little bit fatter, but that's okay.
A little fatty, but that's what
Well, you want them to be 2 different in size, because you want them to be relatively the same, and so they cook evenly, but they don't have to be completely just perfectamundo or anything. This whole batch is not going to fit on this sheet. So whatever is left, I will put into my freezer and save for next time. Or if I want a little treat, because there's not really enough to like bake off a whole batch here, but there's enough for, you know, little chef treat, like on an off day. So let's get that wrapped up. I'll put it in a plastic bag, and these are going to go into the oven, and they're going to bake at 425 for about 15 minutes. Hello. So these just came out of the oven. They baked for 20 minutes at 425 degrees. Right now I'm going to let them sit because they're very hot. But these look really good to me, and I cannot wait to try one in a few minutes. Yeah. I'll let them sit for about half an hour, and then we'll come back and try. All right, so these have cooled completely. I am very excited to try one. And I think I'm gonna go with like one of the end pieces because, I mean, it's just less beautiful than the others. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah, these are really good. Oh my God. You can really taste all the savory elements of this. Taste the hazelnuts, the rosemary, the thyme. The garlic and the onion comes in at the very last little bit of it. I just got a hint of onion. It just melts in your mouth. Ah! It's so good. So yeah, definitely make these. They will be the hit of your party, I promise. You could do it. I don't have my mic on.
It's on.
Oh, okay. And I really love this iron rolling pin because it doesn't get warm. It stays nice and cool. Whoop. Yeah, marble.
You said iron. You said iron.
I'm losing my mind a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I really love this iron rolling pin because it doesn't. I didn't sleep last night. I really didn't. All right, so spaced out enough on the plate. Spaced out enough on the baking dish that.